Looking at this stairway, it's nice. The house is nice and old Victorian, well maintained. You can see this is a fantastic home, and it is either only a few years old or freshly painted, freshly remodeled. Either way, it is a nice looking home. And this kind of looks like clear redwood on the stairway. And that's nice. I like it. I like the white and the red. Now, for those of you who have already read the title of the video, we know that the pots are the reason why we're here. The terracotta pots absorb moisture, and the trays will absorb moisture. So basically, as you water these plants, the water will go right through the pot and the tray and into the wood. So something like this, you could take a plant, you could water a pot like this, and it can look like this, and the next day it'll look like this. And but if you take the pot and you separate it from the tray, you're going to see moisture on the bottom. I'm not saying it's going to be wet. I'm just saying that it's not uncommon to have moisture, a wet spot. So you would have a ring on the tray where it would be wet, and if you removed the planter and then removed the tray, it's not going to be uncommon to see some type of moisture underneath the terracotta water tray. This moisture will absorb into the wood and, of course, ruin the stairway eventually. How do I know this? Because I probably spent about 4 or 5 years working on apartment complexes, fixing all of the damage. I'm not saying it all came from potted plants, but a lot of it did. People used to take potted plants like these and they would set them on top of their handrails and water them. After a while, it would ruin the wood handrails or guardrails. So it wasn't uncommon to run into something like that. Now, when you see something like this, you see a nice house like this, I always have a hard time. I always feel like just knocking on their door. Hey, watch one of these videos, but I understand that's not going to work all the time. You can watch these videos and still do something like this. Now, you're probably thinking, what's the big deal? Nice home, put it on here. Maybe just leave it on here for a few months, take it off. That's fine. But it's going to, it's fine if you as long as it doesn't get damaged. But the point of the video is to avoid something like this in the first place, or try to use, I don't want to say common sense. It's not the word. If you don't know better, you're not going to know how to fix it, or you're not going to know it's a problem until it's too late most of the time. But something like this, all you would need to do is have a waterproof tray, something that's plastic here. And if you wanted a red waterproof tray, they sell them. You just get a red one, and it looks like it's terracotta kind of a thing, and you're fine. That's the easy solution. The next problem I'd like to point out, and I won't beat this thing to death, make this a 2-hour video, but eventually these plants need to be watered. If there's a drip system, great. As long as the drip system doesn't overflow and the water doesn't come onto the stairway, that's great. But somebody's going to need to hand water these if not. And if that's the case, there's a good chance that you eventually are going to get water spilt onto the stairway. And, of course, over time, this will ruin the stairway, ruin the stain, discolor it. And maybe I'll go and take a picture of the stairway here in a few years, maybe 5 years, and see what it looks like. Maybe I'll even remove one of these pots, slide it over, and see if there's any damage to it, and repost it and put a link on the video. But anyway, that's it for this video. I know it's not a big topic. It's not something that structural wood damage or something like that. But it's things like these, really. It's stuff like this that we really don't think about, and then after a few years, we're replacing the entire stairway. And if the handrail's attached to the stairway, sometimes the handrail's going to need to be replaced too, and it's not a good thing. So first thing we need to do is start by avoiding putting any type of plants on top of wood. And if you are going to put plants on top of them, make sure that the wood is protected through with some type of a waterproof tray.